Hey, my favorite game 2K, likes I need 2K. Hey, show me love, hey, don't forget to sub, cause YouTube only like me if the people showing love. And this could be your new favorite page, brought to you live by that boy Gabe. Now say it with your chest, if it's about games then Gabe know best. If it's about games then Gabe know best.
What's happening, y'all? Man, it's your boy Gabe, and I'm glad that y'all could join me. Tell me what you think of the intro, y'all. Y'all, this is gonna be a crazy one, bruh. I have been getting so much hate when it comes to videos that includes iconics that's not even accessible anymore. Gabe, you have Sport Pod in your rotation. Your video doesn't make any sense. I don't want to watch it anymore. Bruh, I'm gonna do something that's y'all ain't never gonna hit it. I'm gonna make it. If y'all take y'all time, sit down, pull up a chair, go heat y'all up some popcorn. I'm gonna make it to the point where by the time if y'all fully sit down and watch this video and the concepts that I'm gonna talk about, you're not even gonna need me no more. I'm going to teach you how to not need me. You're not even gonna have to click on my channel no more. You're gonna be like, bruh, I appreciate Gabe, but look, dog, I don't need you no more. I'm just gonna ask y'all to pass on the knowledge that I'm giving y'all to other people. So the first thing I want to talk about is no matter what MMO you playing, it's all going to follow the same exact formula. Every single MMO going to follow the same exact formula. This is going to be a longer video, but it's going to teach you to be an absolute monster. You are going to be a machine if you use the formula that I'm teaching you and apply it to DPS and for your own. You're going to be able to make your own loadouts. You know, like I get people all the time, Gabe, you got Sport Pod in your loadout. I absolutely hate it. You're not even playing hard light. Everything that you see is replaceable. Does it do the same exact damage as Sport Pod? No, but that's all good. You're still going to be able to do your thing. There's not going to be no issue. So pull up a chair, relax your nerve, go grab you something to drink. Let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the 3 forms of damage that you have. Now, I'm not going to be talking about trinkets in this video. I'm not going to be talking about the allies in this video to a degree. I might mention Starfire ally one single time just for reference what we're talking about with powers, but this is going to be the 3 forms of damage that you're going to do. And you're going to have, in most MMOs, 2 forms, which is burst damage and dots. Dots is the acronym for damage over time. So, and then the final one y'all have is supercharges. So the first one I want to talk about is burst. So we're going to go over to our traits. And the first thing y'all going to see is this ability right here called Luminous Beam. So I'm gonna go over to my single target loadout, and what Luminous Beam is gonna do is it's going to fire a beam of light energy, damaging and knocking down a single target. Now this does not have to be a single target attack. Ram still functions as burst damage. You know, hand clap, that's still burst damage. You know, it's not a single attack, it's still burst. So it's front loaded damage. You know, like it just differently done. Now, what's a dot, Gabe? Well, what do you have that classifies as a dot? That would be Sport Pod. And in the description of these, like again, so key to this, y'all, when y'all playing a game, again, it doesn't matter if it's DC, Final Fantasy, any of them, read the descriptions of what you're understanding. So this is going to say tosses and exploding Sport Pod at the target, dealing damage all within its radius and infecting up to 3 uninfected enemies. Infected targets will take damage over time. Again, infected targets will take damage over time. I want to erase the last part because, again, I don't want y'all to get too fixated on Sport Pod because you know what we're going to do in this video? We're going to remove it. I don't even want y'all to focus on any of these. Not Life Shield, not Brilliant Change, none of that. So we're going to come over here. And again, I know I just told y'all that we're going to, again, we're not even going to use Luminous Beam. So we're going to use Ram. I'm not even going to clip it. I'm not even going to clip it yet. That's one single attack. So you see how it's doing one single form attack? It's hard to really get whip. In fact, we're going to use Luminous Beam because you're going to see a whole bunch of damage at one time. So they're like 500k just now. If it crit, it could do far more damage. That's actually buff so y'all can see some real damage. So, but I'm getting unlucky with these crits right now. So y'all seeing how burst damage works. It's one single strong attack. We're going to use it one more single time. Bam, that's a crit of 1,000,000 damage. How is a damage over time going to function? Well, bam. So y'all gonna see a crit of 100,000, and then you're gonna see smaller ticks. I'm glad that y'all seeing smaller ticks because it's really gonna emphasize on the fact that it is not front-loaded damage. It's damage over time. I think it lasts for about 18 seconds. It takes 18 seconds for this to do its full amount of damage. Remember that. So hypothetically speaking, if me and you in the hallway, right? Me and you in the hallway. I use luminous beam on a target, and that target instantly dies, right? But you come and you use spore pod. Who's doing more damage front loaded? So now you have to understand that it all depends on the content you in. If you're in low tier content or you're in casual content, dots generally, unless it's like bosses, are not ideal because you're gonna have to judge multiple things, right? So if we're in a hallway and we have DPS that's killing stuff quickly, then instead of doing my dot, I'm gonna focus on my burst first because by the time I get my dot is not gonna do its full damage. So it makes no sense to use my dot because I'd rather just use my front loaded damage to kill an ad as quickly as possible. Now this differs when either damage is low or you're in harder content like Elite and the ads have much more health. So I want y'all to really see another thing, and y'all gonna see something that's gonna look a little unique in a second. So I'm gonna use, let's say I don't want to use Spore Pod no more, because again, I told y'all we're removing that. I'm gonna teach y'all the principles of DPSing. So we're gonna use it and we're gonna replace it with chompers. Chompers functions similar. In fact, it actually applies the day's PI, which I'm gonna teach y'all all about PIs too in this video. So we're gonna come over here to these multiple targets and we're gonna use chompers. Chompers is a hard light ability, but every single power set on this game has an AoE dot. All of them, every single one of them. We're gonna pop chompers, bam, and it's gonna do dots. And you see these small ticks of damage, but it's good damage over time. Well, Gabe, when would this be good to use? Well, it's good to use when ads are not dying quickly. And for me personally, I adapt to raids as a raid progresses. So by the second or third set of ads, if I notice the ads are dying too quickly, then I know, shoot, I better yet, either I have to either be quicker to my rotation, which I'm gonna teach y'all, or either I just need to go into my burst first. So instead of just using choppers, if the ad's dying in 2 seconds, I'm just come over and do this. Like, Gabe, that looked trash. That looks so slow. We're gonna get to that too. Don't worry about that. I want y'all to pay close attention to this. This is ram into whip. This is how it looks to a player that doesn't know what they're doing. This is how it looks. The full animation to it. Gabe, what do you mean full animation? Well, I'm gonna teach y'all clipping as well in this video. So again, a good DPS is a DPS that can maximize moments, meaning I'm doing as much as I could do in a small amount of time. So what if I told you to get the same amount of damage, by the time y'all see this done one time, I could have been done it 3 times. Gabe, what do you mean? Well, you can clip on this game. And clipping is basically stopping an animation while still allowing the animation in the system to still process. So it's going to look like this. We're going to go from using ram to whip, but instead of this slow animation, we're going to use ram again the second it's off a cooldown. So it's going to look like this. You see that damage is still coming up? So that's clip, y'all. I'm a fan of that chainsaw. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. So look, this how it actually look. Let me stop playing. So it should look like this. So we're gonna use it like this. Practice and y'all get it to the point where y'all won't even see it. There we go. I'm getting into a little rotation with it. I'm tired as heck today. But that's it. Y'all want it to the point where you don't see the animation for it, really. And it takes some practice, y'all, but you'll get used to it. Now, what's faster, bro? I done did that move, I want to say 8 times faster than the person that's letting the whole animation go could probably use it 3 times. So who's doing more damage in a short amount of time is definitely going to be the person that's clipping. So now y'all understand burst damage. That's front-loaded damage. Now y'all understand dots, which is damage over time, which is great for when ads lasting a period that could let the dots tick properly. Or on boss fights, dots are fantastic because the bots are not dying quickly. And now y'all understand the concept of clipping, which is cutting off an animation that you can visually see, but allowing the animation to still process in the system. Again, it's really, really easy. Again, we're going to come to this target. We're going to use ram into whip, but instead of letting the whip animation go through, we're going to use ram again into whip and repeat. And once y'all get more practice with it, y'all, again, I'm rusty as heck with hard light. You'll get into a little motion like this. Like it'll just flow with y'all. Bam. Look much faster than that, huh? I know. I got y'all. We cooking already, bro. We 9 minutes. We 9 minutes to the video and we already cooking. So by now, y'all understand what burst damage is. Y'all understand what dots is. Y'all understand what clipping is. Well, Gabe, how could we clip even better? Okay, so I told y'all I do want to remove Sport Pod, but I want y'all to see one thing before I do it. I want y'all to see a slow animation. So I just throw a baseball look like it, right? That looked horrible. Like that's terrible. Let's be quicker. Let's be faster. That's how we become monsters. We become faster. So Sport Pod into inspiration. Bam. I just did 2 things at one time. We cooking now. Now y'all understanding it. Well, Gabe, I don't have that shield from the White Lantern augments, and I don't have this, and I don't have that, and I don't have Sport Pod. I hate your videos because you're clickbaiting me. All right, I got you. We're removing it all. Because again, all DPS powers function the same way. So I want y'all to go into the descriptions for yourselves and y'all power sets and understand. So if Sport Pod functions as a damage over time ability, again, in the description of it, it's going to tell you damage over time. So we're going to come over to Sport Pod again. You come to and that's why it's really important that y'all read the descriptions of understanding how this stuff works. Again, infected targets will take damage over time. Ignore the rest. We just focusing on the damage over time. We're going to come over to this ability that y'all probably can't get again, and it's going to say, come over and it's going to say the same thing. Deals damage over time. That's another one. And you're going to have multiple abilities that do this damage over time. Every single power set has one. So what could we replace that with? Easily right off the bat, you got Chompers. So what Chompers is going to do something called a PI. What is a PI? That's a power interaction. Right now we in school. We in class. I'm teaching right now. Uncle Gabe got y'all, bro. Uncle Gabe got y'all. We cooking today. So this is going to apply the dazing PI. And what does that mean? Well, when you do this dazed PI, it's going to make all of your hard light power interaction powers do more damage. So again, so you come to RAM and it's going to say dazed enemies take additional damage. Sport Pod don't do that. Sport Pod doesn't do that. It doesn't have a PI that works with this power set. So again, you don't have to use the iconics to do good damage. So you're going to come back to it and it's going to follow the same function. So weapon buffs are clips. You can use it to shortcut into another, you can use it to cut off the animation to another ability. You know what else functions the same way? A shield. So you're going to hear people saying, I don't have the White Lantern augment. It's all good. Suck it up. We got something to replace it with. What we going to replace it with? Well, guess what? Every single power set on this game has a what? A shield. So instead of that White Lantern shield, we're just going to use Light Barrier. This is Hard Light's power. You see how we slowly starting to remove these iconics? Wait till we done. We're gonna be done with all of them by the time this functions. So now we're going to come to another clip that we have. We're gonna go and start off with Chompers into inspiration for the weapon buff that's going to also proc Starfire. See, we're doing multiple things at one time. As y'all know, if y'all following along, we're going to talk about the allies in another video, just not this one right here. So y'all know when y'all use inspiration, it's going to proc Starfire, which give you all of that might buff, right? So we're going to go into Chompers, which is going to give us our damage over time. And it's also going to give us our Daze and PI, which is going to make our hard light abilities do additional damage. Then we're going to follow up and we're going to use Light Barrier to clip the inspiration and also give us a shield that's going to help us do additional damage. That's going to also help us not get stunned and stuff when we're using RAM and help us not take damage. But what else is it going to do? Well, it's also going to direct some incoming damage back to your attackers. So you're going to be doing more damage. And guess what? That's not, y'all complaining stuff about these abilities and these stuff that's on the game. Well, guess what? Life Shield doesn't do that. It don't reflect damage back. Follow me. I know y'all tracking because I know that my viewers and stuff like that, they smart as hell. So follow along with me. We cooking right now. So the next thing that y'all seen me use in the last video was Brilliant Chains, right? Dazes enemies, making them vulnerable to dazing effects. Guess what? Everything on this game could be replaced, including this ability here. So Gabe, what would you replace that with? Well, I don't know, baby. You have options. Options I love. So personally, I like this one right here. And this is another cool, nice ability. So this one drops a weight on enemies and it does some pretty good damage. It's also a supercharge generator. You know it's not a supercharge generator? You guessed it. Brilliant chains. It doesn't regenerate it doesn't regenerate your supercharge faster. So again, everything on this game could be replaced. So instead of that white lantern ability, now we're using lightweight strike. So Gabe, how would this even work? Well, again, using the same principles I taught y'all before, that a fast DPS is a good DPS, right? So we're gonna use chompers, and I want y'all to see this information and you see what y'all getting yourselves into. Not bad damage, huh? I know we don't have to use brilliant chains. Again, this is pretty good damage. So instead of using this like this and how slow it is, we're going to use chompers into inspiration, clip that with light barrier into the weight. So it's going to look like this. Quick DPS is a good DPS, y'all. That's a beautiful thing. I know. Y'all going to use the same exact principle to build your own loadouts with any single power set on the game. They all function pretty much the same way, every single one of them. So, well, Gabe, what about Robot Sidekick? It's all up to you. I think Robot Sidekick does some good damage. It's passive. Passive damage is damage that you do not have to do anything to get. It's just free damage. You call it out, and it's there just assisting you. I don't have to command it. I don't have to give it power. I don't have to do anything. I'm about to chill. It's just going to be attacking for me. That's called free passive damage. Remember that, passive. You don't have to do anything to get it. It's just free. So we're going to keep our Robot Sidekick out there. Let y'all see that passive damage. Again, one more time. Chompers into inspiration, into light barrier, into the dropping that weight. Real simple and quick. A quick DPS is a good DPS. I know y'all liking this. We tracking. We're already 17 minutes in and I already feel like y'all probably better than me now at this game. But let's get to it some more. So, okay, Gabe. So, Gabe, your rotation already lost some of your ability. So what you going to do to replace them? I cook, baby. I'm a chef. So, hard light is one of those power sets where, again, it's not the most front-loaded damage, but it's versatile. I mean, extremely versatile. So for AoE, say I'm gadgets, instead of RAM, I swap it out with Gauss Grenade. It has the same principle. I'm just trying to do AoE damage, which is area of effect damage. That's what this is right here. So area of effect meaning it affects more than just one target. So we're going to come over here. We're going to use RAM into whip, and the whip is going to do AoE damage. Bam. That's area of effect. So if I was to come over and I would do an attack that's not area of effect, I want y'all to really understand the principle between area of effect and single target. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add Grasp in Hand. Grasp in Hand is a 1 Gabe, single target, which meaning I just attacked that one target. So I'm going to use Ram again. Y'all going to see Ram hits everything. Grasp in Hand, single target. Well, Gabe, when would you use a single target attack versus a multi-target attack? Generally, the rule of thumb is AoE attacks generally do less damage the more targets they hit. Single target attacks don't split damage because you're only attacking one target. So, okay, Gabe, well, let's shift over to single target. Okay, cool. So again, in my loadout, we're not using no iconic, so we're removing them. And we're not using nothing that y'all might not have. Now, we could even remove a Mega Beams. I got an answer for everything. I know y'all got Bass Swarm, right? Dang, I kind of feel people cussing me out and I didn't even post this video yet. We're removing that too. I'm sorry. Everybody got access to Neo Venom Boost. If you do not like that, y'all can replace that too. But guess what? We're using it for this video. So we're going to take all of the concepts so far we got. Y'all understand what single target is. Y'all understand what AoE damage is. Y'all understand what burst damage is. Y'all understand what dots is. Y'all understand PIs. Y'all tracking, bro. Look, we what, 20 minutes into this video and I already feel like y'all probably call DPS me now. We getting to it. So next thing, concept. So how do we come up with a single target rotation using the principles we talked about, but without using any iconic abilities. It's not hard. Again, we're going to use them same principles. Chompers is going to replace Spore Pod, same functionality, a damage over time that hits multiple targets. Instead of using the Life Shield, we're going to replace that with Light Barrier, same functionality, except it does a few more things. This one here is usable while controlled, just like that White Lantern one, but this one also reflects damage back at your attackers. And then instead of using Brilliant Chains, we're going to replace that with Lightweight Strike, which drops a weight out the sky, and it also builds your supercharge back quicker. It also dazes enemies, making them vulnerable to dazing effects. Remember, power interactions is going to make your hand claps hit harder. It's going to make your ram hit harder. It's going to make your whip hit harder. That's just how hard light work. Every power set on this game has its own power interaction. Remember that. I want to say electricity has polarized. Weird enough. It's polarized, I think. I want to say sorcerer is karmic. Fire is burning. Munitions burning. Rage is plasmic. You know, every single power set on this game functions the same exact way. Water got crushing. I want to say earth is crushing. Don't quote me on that, y'all. I ain't been earth in a little minute. So, next up. So, what do we replace that with? We don't have Omega no more, right? What do we replace Omega with? Well, it's a finisher, right? That's vulnerable to interrupt. Instead of using that, why don't we just come over to our own power set and just use Light Blast? Light Blast is probably my favorite finish on the game because the AoE one is one of the only finishes on this game that's AoE. So, other than that, okay, Gabe, we don't have Lasso, Gabe. What would I use instead of Lasso? Be creative, bruh. Like, be creative. Use your mind, baby. What could you use? So instead of Lasso is unique because it functions differently than most stuff. I'm actually a fan of this one right here. You come over here and do this something like this. Yeah, we creative with it. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna use Chompers into inspiration, into light barrier, into dropping the weight, and then we're just gonna swing the weight. Bam. Just like this. Real easy, right? We're gonna use that one more time. One single more time. We're gonna come over here, boom, boom. Let's see, boom, boom, drop the weight. And let's come over and just spin the weight. Bam. Y'all already doing some decent damage. Y'all would be surprised. A lot of stuff that y'all complain about, Gabe, your video is invalid because I don't have it. Y'all can replace it. Again, by the time this video is over with, if y'all following, if y'all tracking, I know right now we 22 minutes in. If y'all sticking with me by now, y'all could already make y'all own loadout. Y'all don't even need me no more. Y'all probably, I'm subscribed from my channel by now. Y'all don't do that. Y'all, I kind of need y'all support. I appreciate y'all. So next up. Now, what's the final form of damage? Well, now you get to supercharges. So again, now this comes to understanding what everything does, right? So a lot of people don't use Word of Power, which is sad because it buffs the group. Like, but everybody's a selfish DPS, so nobody won't buff nobody else. So if you use it in DPS role, it's gonna buff the groups, increase critical damage, and increase crit chance. Nobody won't use it because they ain't buffing them, sadly. So next up, we have fan popular, which is Neo Venom Boost. What this does is it temporarily increases your strength, defense, and damage output from an experimental. Y'all, I'm tired. I'm tired. That's all I'll say. So basically, what it does is gonna make everything that we do hit harder. So I'm gonna come over here and we're gonna do a clap. Y'all see that clap just hit for 300k, down for 400k, bam, 200, non-crit. Well, what if I was to told you if we come over here and pop Neo Venom Boost? Now we're going to come over here and we're going to clap. Now that's a 600k clap. 600k clap. Every single thing that you have is going to hit harder. Another 600k. That's what Neo Venom Boost does. It gives you a massive damage boost. Well, Gabe, what type of boost do it give you? Well, if you come down here and you pop it, it'll tell you what if you come all the way and press up or whatever function that you're on. I don't know what system y'all on, but if you go to current effects, it'll tell you what everything does. We're going to use Neo Venom Boost one more time. I want y'all to really understand what y'all doing and why y'all doing it. So now if you come up while Neo Venom Boost is up, it's going to tell you in current effects, it's going to say 40% damage bonus. for 15 seconds. So for 15 seconds, you're going to do 40% more damage with every single thing you have. So now that y'all understand the concepts of single target, AoE, burst damage, damage over time, your supercharge, and power interactions, I want y'all to do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make y'all own loadouts and share everything that I've taught y'all today. As always, this your boy Gabe, and until the next video, y'all be cool.